Welcome to the UPLB Graduate School Hooting and Recognition Ceremonies. Here are some reminders to be followed during the program. Observe solemnity all throughout the hooting and recognition ceremonies. Turn off mobile phones or put them in silent mode during the ceremonies. Observe proper decorum and minimum public health standards and stay in your seats until the end of the program. Only authorized photographers are allowed to take photos near the stage. Marshals and volunteers are stationed around the gymnasium to attend to guests and graduates. Thank you. We shall now begin the hooting and recognition ceremonies with the processional. Let us welcome the Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs and University Marshal, Associate Professor Janet H. Malata Silva. Let us please welcome the Graduate School Secretary, Associate Professor Pamela A. Custodio. Next up, let's please welcome the Graduate School Dean and Faculty Marshal, Professor Jomar F. Ravahante, followed by the Assistant Professors, Associate Professors, Professors, and Professors Emeriti of the Graduate Faculty. Let us now please welcome the members at large, Professor Shirley B. Hamyas. Professor Analisa Henedina M. Ramirez. Let us now please welcome our beloved deans. Dean Elpidio M. Agbisit Jr., College of Agriculture and Food Science. Dean Maria Stella C. Terol, College of Development Communication. Dean Agham C. Cuevas, College of Economics and Management. Dean Rosana Marisi Amongo, College of Engineering and Agro-Industrial Technologies. Dean Marlo D. Mendoza, College of Forestry and Natural Resources. Dean Rowena D.T. Bacongis, College of Public Affairs and Development. Dean Maria Amelita C. Estacio, College of Veterinary Medicine. Dean Rico C. Ancol, School of Environmental Science and Management. Help me welcome the Executive Committee Marshal and Dean of the College of Human Ecology, Dean Ricardo T. Sandalo. And now let us welcome the Vice Chancellors. Vice Chancellor Rolando T. Bello, Administration. Vice Chancellor Jean O. Loyola, Academic Affairs. Let us welcome the University Registrar, Assistant Professor Margarita Carmen S. Paterno, carrying the UPLB maize. Now let us welcome UP Los Baños Chancellor, Chancellor Jose V. Camacho, Jr. Dear friends, let us please welcome our guest speaker, Dr. Michael D. Purugganan. Please rise. Please take your seats.
To our esteemed guest speaker, New York University Professor Dr. Purugganan, UPLB Graduate School Dean Jomar Abahante, the Graduate School executive members, faculty and staff, and members of the graduating class of 2023, good morning. Today, we will honor UPLB Masters and PhD students in the 2023 UPLB Graduate School Hooding and Recognition Ceremonies. Let me begin by offering my warmest congratulations to all of you for achieving the academic and professional milestone of completing your graduate degree. The accomplishment is no small feat and is made more significant by your completion of it despite the global pandemic and other disruptions that have occurred these past few years. We hope that your stay as a student of UPLB was memorable and full of rich and rewarding experiences that help you grow professionally and personally. We hope that UPLB helped to widen your horizons and your perspectives as it exposed you to alternative viewpoints and help you exercise your critical thinking and mental flexibility. We remain honored and grateful that you chose UPLB as the university in which to pursue your graduate and postgraduate studies. And we hope that we lived up to, if not exceeded, your expectations. As holders of graduate and PhD degrees, you are now counted as part of the intellectual leaders and considered as experts of your chosen fields of studies. Such recognition and esteem comes with heavy responsibilities of using your skills and knowledge with purpose and for the good of others. UPLB prides itself of being a public service university, and we hope that we have instilled that value within you as well. As we practice our learnings in our professions, may we always remember that we are beholden to the people of our nations to pursue knowledge, not just for knowledge's sake, but to use that knowledge as a catalyst for transformation. As you don the hood today and join the ranks of UPLB alumni, we hope we can continue to collaborate in adding to the global community's efforts in building a sustainable, resilient, inclusive, and future-proof global society. Congratulations once more to the UPLB Graduate School Class of 2023. May you never tire in the pursuit of lifelong learning in service to the humanity. Maraming salamat. Mabuhay kayong lahat.
Good morning. Our guest speaker is a BS Chemistry graduate of UP Diliman, where he served as features editor of the student newspaper, the Philippine Collegian. Since 2011, he has written occasional essays for the Huffington Post, an American progressive news website, the Philippine Star, GMA News Online, and Rappler Philippines. He obtained an MA in chemistry from Columbia University. After obtaining his PhD in botany, minor in global policy from the University of Georgia, he was awarded an Alfred P. Sloan Foundation Molecular Evolution Fellowship at the University of California, San Diego. After that, he joined the faculty of North Carolina State University, where he was named the William Neil Reynolds Distinguished Professor of Genetics in 2005. He was also a Guggenheim Fellow from 2006 to 2007 and a Kavli Frontiers of Science Fellow in 2011. In 2006, he joined the faculty of New York University, where he is now a Silver Professor of Biology, and where he also served as Dean of Science for 7 years. Since 2022, he has been serving as director at 19 Washington Square North, the home of New York University Abu Dhabi in New York. His scientific research focuses on the study of evolution with a specialization in plant evolutionary genomics. In 2013, he was elected to the Board of Trustees of the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation and served as the U.S. representative to the Council of Scientists of the Human Frontier Science Program and the Biological Sciences Advisory Committee for the U.S. National Science Foundation. He has been on the editorial boards of several journals, including Molecular Biology and Evolution, Trends in Plant Science, Annual Review of Ecology, and many, many more. He is also serving on the International Scientific Advisory Boards of the Center for Research in Agricultural Genomics in Barcelona, the Philippine Genome Center, the U.S. Composite Genome Project, the Norwegian Aqua Genome Project, and the Genome Canada Sunflower Project. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pride to introduce to you our distinguished guest speaker, Professor Amiel Purugganan.
Thank you very much for that kind introduction. You can tell I've been very busy. Chancellor Jose Camacho, Dean Joe Marabahante, Vice Chancellor Jean Loyola, the deans of the different schools at UPLB, graduates, friends and family. Magandang umaga. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the UPLB Chancellor Jose Camacho and his university leadership team, and Professor Joe Marabahante, the Dean of the Graduate School, and his leadership team for the kind invitation to celebrate with all of you today. It is certainly a special day, one which we gather in this hooding and recognition ceremony for the master's and doctoral degree candidates of the Graduate School of UPLB, for you, the class of 2023. To the graduates, congratulations on your achievement. This new milestone in your life, in which you have, in today's jargon, leveled up in a big way, secure in your newly acquired skills and knowledge that you worked so hard to get here at UPLB. And while you bore the ultimate burden to get here through your hard work and perseverance, we also need to extend our thanks to the faculty, staff, and administration of this great university, UPLB, for providing the environment in which you as graduates thrived. And also, a big thanks to the loved ones of these graduates who have supported them through their journey in graduate education. Getting your master's or PhD degrees, this is a big deal. It may not be immediately obvious to all of you, but I do believe, and in a very real sense, I think, that the graduate school is at the heart of any modern university. Why do I say this? Well, to most people in the world, universities function to teach the next generation. But you all know that just as important a function of universities is to conduct research that will advance human knowledge and improve the lives of people. It is the graduate school that is entrusted with the training of students to conduct research and to contribute to the advancement of knowledge and the public good, which is why the graduate school, in a real sense, is one of the core schools of any major university. To many of us who embrace knowledge and the love of learning, our graduate education is a cornerstone in our lives that helps propel us forward in our own professional and personal journeys. I myself remember well my own journey through graduate school. It was more than 40 years ago, in the early 1980s, when I realized that I had to go to graduate school. Now, 40 years ago, this skinny boy from Barrio San Antonio, and yes, I was skinny then, this skinny boy from Barrio San Antonio, who grew up in a lower middle class family, whose father was just an ordinary government employee and whose mother stayed at home to take care for us, had no idea what graduate school was all about. All I knew was I wanted to be a scientist. And somehow I understood then, although really I don't remember how, that to be a scientist meant you had to get something called a PhD. And so in the early 1980s, while still an undergraduate at the University of the Philippines, in that other campus we call Diliman, I resolved to go to graduate school. It has been a long journey for me since then. I am no longer skinny, and my hair, if you can see it, has turned white. But over the years, I've learned a few things, and maybe you can benefit from knowing some of the lessons I learned along the way. Here are some of those lessons. First, it sometimes pays to be naive. I went to graduate school at a time when there were no good opportunities to get a PhD here in the Philippines. So if you wanted to get a science PhD, you pretty much had to go abroad to get it. And so being naive, which really means I didn't know any better, I thought I would just go ahead and apply to PhD programs in the United States. I applied to places you may recognize, Ivy League schools like Harvard and Columbia, or major universities like Johns Hopkins and the University of California at San Diego. Here was how naive I was. I did not realize then how difficult it was to get into those programs. I think if I had known better, I probably would not have even applied, especially since, you must remember this, I had a GPA of only around 2.0, which I know is shocking. And I even failed biochemistry when I was an undergraduate. I certainly had no Latin honors for me. But I didn't know any better, so I applied to these great universities and was luckily accepted to some of them. But the lesson I learned is that sometimes being naive can help. For each of you, that naivete may have allowed you to try things you may not have otherwise tried, simply because nobody told you how difficult it was. It may even have led you here today with your new graduate degrees. So I hope we continue to have some level of naivete in our lives. Hand in hand with being naive is being a little bit fearless. I went to graduate school in 1985 with a one-way plane ticket and less than 5,000 pesos in my bank account. I went to New York City not knowing anyone, having no real place to stay, and not being able to depend on my family financially to support me should anything go wrong. I was on my own. As I have said several times to friends, what I did that time nearly 40 years ago was the kind of thing you do when you are young and foolish and do not know any better. It is being fearless because when you are young, you don't think of the obstacles. You just do it. Keep that spirit of fearlessness alive in your life. Look beyond the obstacles and move forward. My next advice is to be self-confident. Now, all of us suffer from imposter syndrome. To this day, I sometimes get the feeling that someone will figure out I'm not as good as other people think. I have come to know many extraordinary people in my life, great scientists and Nobel Prize winners, artists and writers and business people. And what I've found is that all of us, no matter how much we have done in life, you and me feel this way. I had an early test in self-confidence during my first day of orientation in graduate school. I remember my orientation day. My classmates and myself each stood up and introduced ourselves. And so we went around the room. They introduced them. My classmates introduced themselves. Here's Peter White from the University of Chicago, Rachel Lehaney from Harvard, Anna Pyle from Princeton. And I stood up wondering, what was I, this skinny boy from the University of the Philippines, doing in that room? I felt like I didn't belong there. Or did I? Over that first year, I realized that yes, we belong there. Me with that wonderful group of young scientists, you with an equally great group of professionals from around the world. Never forget that. You belong in that elite group. It taught me to have confidence in myself, and we should all have that confidence that indeed we do belong among the best and brightest in the world. Another lesson I learned, and my next piece of advice, is to follow your heart. I am a biologist with a PhD in plant biology. Now, not many people know this, but I actually am a failed chemist. I am what's called all but dissertation in chemistry. That is, all I need was to turn in a thesis to get a chemistry PhD from Columbia. But at the end of my first year at Columbia University, where I first went to graduate school, I started to realize my heart wasn't in chemistry. It was in biology, more specifically the growing area of plant molecular biology. And it was where my heart was because I felt that after I got home to the Philippines, being a plant molecular biologist was something that would be important in helping us in this country. But here I was already in a PhD program, so I said maybe I'll just get my degree and then transition to plant biology after my PhD. In the end of my third year, I realized that I really did not like chemistry. I'm sorry for any of the chemistry faculty and students here. It's a great science, but it just wasn't for me. So instead of sticking it out for a few more years, I took the radical step of just leaving it all behind and starting from scratch by going to the plant biology program at the University of Georgia and starting a PhD all over again from the beginning. I chose to follow my heart, and I've not been disappointed since. Following your heart is inevitably the right choice. Another piece of advice I have is to embrace the random events that can change your life and harness them well. One thing you will find is how chance will play a role in your life, and embracing these chances will be important. And remember that while chance gives you opportunities, it is the choices you make with those chances that are really important. I am now a professor at New York University, one of the great research universities in the world. How I got here was sheer good luck. In 2001, more than 20 years ago, I was giving a talk at the US National Academy of Sciences while I was still an associate professor at North Carolina State University. In the audience was a faculty member from NYU who had never really heard of me or my work, but I guess she liked what she heard in my talk. So she turns to the person next to her and asks, "Is Michael really as good as I think he is?" And her seatmate replied, "Absolutely." She did not know then that her seatmate was my former PhD advisor. And with that enthusiastic endorsement, she came to me and eventually recruited me to move from NC State to NYU. That chance encounter between her and my advisor changed my life. There will be other random events that will change each of your lives, and you need to seize these chances and make the best of them for yourselves. And my final piece of advice is to aim high. Set ambitious goals for yourself. Be bold, be audacious. By aiming high, you will find that you will achieve more than you would otherwise. Even if you don't quite make the target, by being ambitious, you will stretch yourself to the maximum, and in so doing, grow in ways you may not have thought possible. As you leave this commencement ceremony, this recognition ceremony, you now enter a world that more than ever needs you. Over the last decade, we who are experts, and each of you are now experts, have faced challenges like no other time in recent memory. Many of our fellow citizens have sadly come to question the value of experts and expertise, hand in hand with the alarming rise of disinformation in the world. With your master's and doctoral degrees, you now become part of the front line for knowledge and for the public good. Our country and the world needs you more than ever. Remember what your superpowers are. Your superpower is not really expert knowledge, although you certainly have that. It is that you know how to look for the answers, especially answers that no one else has answers to. You know how to do original research. You know how to tell whether a piece of information is credible or not. You know how to take in multiple pieces of information to synthesize them. and hopefully communicate it to others in a form they can understand. Your superpower is you know how to find knowledge and how to work with that new knowledge. As students of the University of the Philippines, you're also steeped in the tradition of service to the people. It is something I've always treasured about my UP education, that we are challenged to use our knowledge and skills in helping our country move forward, whether here or abroad. To this, I would like to add an additional challenge. Don't just think about helping our country, think about helping the world. Think globally, think outside of our borders. Sometimes I think we tend to look just at our problems here at home, but the reality is many of the world's problems are our problems as well. Whether it is climate change, governance, food insecurity, or poverty, sometimes we do need to think globally, to think about tackling problems that may not be confined to our country or may not be even relevant to our country at all. This is important because by thinking outside of our nation, by helping humanity in general, we also help ourselves. And don't forget, by finding solutions to problems outside our borders, we may indirectly help our own economy by being the supplier of solutions to the rest of the world. Finally, I've talked about solutions to our problems. For most of you, you will use your skills to help solve real-world problems. Much of the research that you did for your graduate work was probably focused on a problem that society faces, and you chose that research problem for how it could benefit society. This is, of course, very important. But I would also like to make a plea for curiosity. I would hope that while much of our research may be conducted to solve the ills of society, we do leave room for doing research that is driven simply by our own curiosity. It is no secret that curiosity-driven research has given humanity some of its greatest understanding of nature, whether Einstein's theory of relativity or Charles Darwin's advances in evolutionary biology. Curiosity is a powerful force in humans, and we need to nurture it and to use it. And by the way, that curiosity-driven research has served as the foundation for many of the solutions to problems we do tackle. I end with something I learned from one of my friends and mentors, Dr. Freeman Hrabowski, the great science educator who just retired as the president of the University of Maryland in Baltimore County. He loved this quote from Aristotle. Some of you may have heard it. Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. While chance does play a role in our lives, it is the choices we make that will ultimately determine our destinies, whether as individuals, as a community, as a nation, or as a global society. And we must strive to have the intention, put in the effort, and move forward intelligently to achieve the excellence in our work that society deserves from us. So thank you and congratulations once again, and mabuhay po kayong lahat. Thank you very much.
Please rise.
Chancellor Camacho, the members of the UPLB Executive Committee, it is my honor to present to you, Chancellor, the 301 candidates for graduation from the UPLB Graduate School, the class of 2023. Mabuhay po kayo lahat.
certificates for the candidates of graduation, starting with the master's degree. For the Master of Agriculture in Horticulture, Ruben Danda Simon Jr. For the Master of Development Management and Governance, Arnold Tagum Abuyog. Oliver Calderon Barrientos. Isaac Alan Bonzon Nonan. Bernard James Ramirez Tandang. RJ Manzanilla Padua. Jean-Ric Patotoy Piñas. Christopher Gapus. Angelique Jasmine Saraza Santos. Justin Marco Mosca Vivas. For the Master of Forestry in Forestry, Social Forestry, Griselda Penales Marza. For the Master of Information Technology, Emmanuel Benito Constantino Jr. Wenceslao de la Cruz Navallo. Arde Samuel Irlandes Suministrado. For the Master of Management in Agribusiness Management and Entrepreneurship, Glenda Para Fule. Leira May Mondido Suarez. For the Master of Management in Business Management, Pamela Amor Macaraig Domingo. Joseph Abram Santos Sotoya. Jordan Cacho Talaban. Maria Yvette Alimagno Tolentino. Andres Nico Quizon Altipolio. Jasmine Mary Desiderio Dalena. Ronnie Bonacruz de los Reyes. Abigail Averion Elka. Lemuel Oliver Oreta Marco. Alisa Angeles Relova. For the Master of Management in Cooperative Management, Stephen David Tomala Mendoza. For the Master in Public Affairs in Education Management, Arlene Arandia Pasco. Paula Blanca Amante Alicante. Moong Shaung Ong. Romeo Tubanya Galipot. Jo Duk Kim. Jerome Ore Leonardo II. Criselda Lamug Luis. Sharina Santos Mamino. Ava Maureen Villanueva Ong. Mary Jane de Mesa Kim Sing. For the Master in Public Affairs in Strategic Planning and Public Policy, Ellis Jake Abisado Fermase. Saiba Kiape Jackson. Jose Antonio Blanco Magute. For the Professional Masters in Tropical Marine Ecosystems Management, Oliver Ricamara Minay. For the Master of Arts in Communication Arts, Kazil Talan Abundo. Kevin Alcantara Amante. Mark Leroy Arpon. Faye Michelle Hosmilio Austria. Jacqueline Belen Recania. For the Master of Science in Agricultural Economics, Shemaya Gail Pabroa Plasencia. For the Master of Science in Agricultural Engineering, Rener Bantilan Tandugon. Zaira Nunez Ernesto. Jeremy Charles Salvador Dianon. Charlene Grace Vargas Daniega. Camille Buhit Martinez. John Carlo Lamoso Navasero, recipient, Academic Achievement Award. For the Master of Science in Agrometeorology, Jaime Maroliano Bordales Jr. Juderick Palma Poblete. For the Master of Science in Agronomy, Kate Mariel Tisalona Colarina. Regine Mendoza Olivas. Cherry Villamor Palaran. Marjorie Valdez Pamplona. Aaron Afungol Ruazol. Claire Hazel Raimundo Tabernilla. For the Master of Science in Animal Science, Gian Bianca Pirote Manalo. Patrick Metilio Montealvo. Chester Wing Siong Señeres. Gary Pelinor Uriquia Hernandez. Y. Luin O. Rochelle Andam Paculba. Agostina Soares Amaral from Timor-Leste, 2023 UPLB Ambassador and Leadership Award. Monet Sigiep de Castro. Haryanti Devi. Cabe Lubu Colva. Maria Sharina Regulacion Moreno. Alfredo Rienel Manalo Parungaw. Hana Katrina Corazon Ledesma Servida. For the Master of Science in Applied Nutrition, Petronilo Pelayan Gabriel. Glenn Vincent Pagandian Ong. Kim Irvin Torres Protasio. For the Master of Science in Biochemistry, Lloyd Earl Lemoneras Flandes. Jemima Lea Aquino Itumay. Aldwin Ralph Caringal Briones. Cheryl Joyce Baluyot Grijaldo. For the Master of Science in Botany, Maureen Pagsuberon Bombay. Adrian Brian Galokgok Candisela. For the Master of Science in Chemical Engineering, Brian Masinsin Martinez. Katrina Joy Tawatao Castillo. Mary Jane Mojado del Barrio. Kendrick Nortes. For the Master of Science in Chemistry, Val Jason Gonzalez Lagrada. Bridget Yonko Orog. For the Master of Science in Community Development, Mena Lat Escalona Umali. For the Master of Science in Computer Science, Rian Tabernero Goloy. Eugene Val de la Cruz Mangawang. Kambale Simisi Jeremy. For the Master of Science in Development Communication, Christian Ray Castro Buendia. Renaline Gutierrez Padogino. Visa Pecharat. Jennifer Pascual Arcebuche, Academic Achievement Award, with Assistant Professor Trina Lea T. Mendoza, Advisor. Salvador Roque Serrano. For the Master of Science in Development Management and Governance, Cirilo Marqueses Batan, Jr. Sunny Padillo Pasiona. For the Master of Science in Economics, Joam Christine Medrano Cruz. For the Master of Science in Entomology, Phoebe May Mainit Baure. David Valentin Marapa. For the Master of Science in Environmental Science, Maria Cherry Ann Arlan Gorgonio. Kenneth Jer Gonzalez Alejo. Angelou Lat Balba. Thomas Peña Bautista. Jopar Comaya Escario, under the UP Professional School of Agriculture and Environment. Chloe Joseph Santiago Garcia. Maria Erica Vivas Montecillo. Maria Regina Villena Regalado. Kit Felian Cadano Tenio. Zaida Hernandez Ugat. Eugenio Gulay Afalia Jr. Maris Asuncion Lagayada Baihon. Jackie J. Coyoca Cadulong. Divine De Luna Camposano. Donabel Elpedes Hintural. Michelle Marie Balbuena Legaspi. Ilam Shaleb de la Torre Matba. Marison Vicencio Micosa. Ronel Comian Nolos. Ronel Comia Nolos, Academic Achievement Award. Associate Professor Janice B. Sevilla Nastor, Advisor. Cristina Belen Reyes. John Benrich Monales Zuniga. For the Master of Science in Extension Education, Austin Gubu Yinay. For the Master of Science in Family Resource Management, Ferlin Bordeos Recto. Carla Felisa Deomano Di Maranan. For the Master of Science in Food Science, Prince Joseph Valencia Gaban. Fabio de la Victoria Guno Jr. Alitea Quinto Humawan. Vince Elson Baybay Deeza. Melanie Banak Mendoza. Dorothy Alianzas Salvedia. Julie Amor de los Santos Zantua. For the Master of Science in Forestry, Forest Biological Sciences, Rafi Diamante Gordula. Christian Caballes Lucañas. Froilan J. Talag Mengito. Jose Adonis Narida Nacionales. Adrian Bueno Tobias. For the Master of Science in Forestry, Forest Resources Management, Larlene Faith Cayado Agabaw. Kyle Pierre Rodriguez Israel. Cindy Aop Poclis. Monina Ann Pagkaliwagan Sagin. Gerald Toca Eduarte. For the Master of Science in Forestry, Silviculture and Forest Influences, J. Mark Gadia Cortado. Gaudencio Hitosis Ramos III. Rosel Vera Salom. For the Master of Science in Forestry, Social Forestry, Orenil Cosio Natividad. For the Master of Science in Genetics, Maria Belen Pabelico Gatdula Donovan. Karen May Romanillos Lego. Aaron Velasco Ogot. Reynaldo Perante Peja Jr. Reina Esther Servan Caro. Mary Joy Tutor. Junel Garcia Vinarao. For the Master of Science in Horticulture, John Albert Marqueses Caraan. Joshel Gilina Generisiran Lonto. Elmer Kalumpong Montebon. Christopher Marcojos Sulatario. Fredelino Espia Vecina Jr. Nerissa Oliver Cedillo. Paul Joshua Centeno Marquez. Russell Van Rosales Roa. For the Master of Science in Mathematics, Crizal John Caday Espacio. J.C. Mer Gala Tiongson. For the Master of Science in Microbiology, Grignard James Roche Buday. Jean Venus Desierto Ramoso. Lovely Roseanne Andaya Sison. Amiel Arguil. Lordy Grace Cubero Itang. Abigail Faye Vilan Mancha. For the Master of Science in Molecular Biology and Biotechnology, Nicole Belamide Maring. Ronel Taruk Aguilar Jr. Benjamin William Pardillo Cordes. Cinderella Dagani Raganas. Camille Jerome de Guzman Solibet. Wendell Adam Bacerdo Zabala. Simon Jeronimo Alcantara. Krista Joyce Goho Cruz Banzon. Jen Dane Loria Noku. Ian Bien Mariquilla Olok Olok. Caressa Mariel Dialimas Polikit. For the Master of Science in Natural Resources Conservation, J. Khalil Bohol Panopio. For the Master of Science in Plant Breeding, John Paulo Panizales Nunez, Juneline Balot Ravelo, Jerome Viloria Galapon, Emil Joseph Estrella Irenista, for the Master of Science in Plant Genetic Resources Conservation and Management, Jemima Cabintoy Banganan. Nadine Valdivia Coronado, recipient Academic Excellence Award, with Assistant Professor Renerio P. Hentalan Jr. and Assistant Professor Leia E. Endonela, advisors. For the Master of Science in Plant Pathology, Marie Mercedes Rajon Cuaresma. Rachel Latag de Torres. Monina Dayan Romen Elumba. Lawrence Bonita Paraiso. John Brian Capistrano Rolyoque. Agate Victricia Pelay Mateo. For the Master of Science in Rural Sociology, Rain Dominique Sanchez Brion. For the Master of Science in Soil Science, Angelica Lamadora Labiano. For the Master of Science in Statistics, Sweet Cherish Payak Goriding. Mariano Lanuza Antioquia Jr. Charlotte Regis Bargamento. Jet Frank Saludes Marqueses. For the Master of Science in Veterinary Medicine, Jean Clyden Bulag Tenorio. Miriam Cotiver Lauron. Mark J.P. Cotillas Gonzalez. Dina Justinian Ocaña. Sheila Romero Rabe. Antonio Jimenez Tayong, posthumous. With Professor Maria Amelita C. Estacio and Associate Professor Mark Joseph M. Desamero, advisors. Receiving would be the family of Antonio Jimenez Tayong. For the degree of Master of Science in Wildlife Studies, Rafael Rhino Gabitanan Sanchez. John Carlo Redeña Santos. Joseph Emmanuel Lasola Santos. For the Master of Science in Zoology, Jomel Saraza Limbago. Harold Basok Lipay. Allen Jetro Inductivo Alonte, recipient, Academic Achievement Award. Professor Rachel Gay Palier, advisor. Angelou Marie Ordinario Aquino. Franz Allen Conciso Estrella. Jasmine Renette Dulay Jimenez. Kenessa Clarice Requesa Llanes. Lyle Bongalbal Santa Maria. Kent Elson Salem Sorgon. For the Master of Science in Environmental Science, Abiela Maritan Espinosa. And for the Master of Science in Animal Science, Alisa May Galit Cresino.
For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Agricultural Economics, Nguyen Nam Giang. Advisor, Professor Antonio Jesus A. Quilloy. Janet Rioboca Mag-aso. Advisor, Associate Professor Arvin B. Vista. Romiel John Pepe Basan. Advisor, Professor Isabelita M. Pabuayon. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Agricultural Engineering, Lorena Navarro Miranda. Advisor, Professor Arnold R. Elepaño. Andres Morales Tuates Jr. Academic Achievement Award. Advisor, Professor Engelbert K. Peralta. Co-advisor, Professor Jesse C. Eloria. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Agronomy, Karen Salandanan Bautista, recipient of the Academic Excellence Award. Advisor, Professor Emeritus Pompe C. Santa Cruz, and representing CIRCA is Deputy Director for Administration, Associate Professor Joselito Florendo. Archie Baclayon Lauderes. Advisor, Professor Emeritus Pompe C. Santa Cruz. Vanica Lacorte Apostol. Advisor, Professor Edna A. Aguilar. Monaira Inta Sumael. Advisor, Professor Eureka Teresa M. Ocampo. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Animal Science, Ana Celina Tangian Soriano. Advisor, Associate Professor Agapita J. Salces. Mila Gracia Ejercito Villanueva. Advisor, Professor Amado A. Angeles. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Biochemistry, Jennifer Peña Frontreras, recipient of the Academic Achievement Award. On behalf of Professor Marivic X. Laksamana, Advisor, and Professor Emeritus Florinia E. Merca, Co-Advisor, is Professor Catherine Ann Israel. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Botany, Lloyd Ongpauco Balinado. Advisor, Professor Lourdes B. Cardenas. Co-Advisor, Professor Antonio C. Laurena. Mary Jane Gagelonia Valentino. Advisor, Professor Nonatus S. Bautista. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Community Development, Petagam Chatura Jayampati de Silva. Advisor, Professor Emeritus Josefina T. Dizon. J.C. Tangilan Corpus. Advisor, Professor Emeritus Josefina T. Dizon. Felino Hutoy Gutierrez Jr., recipient of the Academic Achievement Award. Advisor, Professor Emeritus Josefina T. Dizon. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Science. Liu Xuan Hua. Advisor, Associate Professor Maria Art Antoinette D. Clarino. Co-advisor, Associate Professor Vladimir Y. Mariano. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Development Communication, Raquel Garcia Agustin. Advisor, Professor Maria Stella C. Tirol. Jonathan Patam Guevara. Advisor, Professor Benjamina Paula G. Flor. Jude Noni Salas. Advisor, Professor Benjamina Paula G. Flor. Rhea Rieza Ponce de Leon. Advisor, Professor Shirley B. Hamias. Gemma Butoeg Dumansi. Advisor, Professor Cleofe S. Torres. Kamla Zaira Ginto Lavadia. Advisor, Professor Maria Stella C. Tirol. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Development Studies, Giselle Solivas Laranas, Advisor, Professor Jose V. Camacho Jr. Tristan Laplana Abando, Advisor, Assistant Professor Eileen V. Lapitan. Kennedy Aquino Beltran, Advisor, Associate Professor Everly P. Serrano. Christine Santander Diaz, Advisor, Professor Rowena D.T. Bacongues. Rina Olave Ilagan, Advisor, Professor Greg T. Pawilen. Omaima Macno Usman Makadaan, Advisor, Professor Rowena D.T. Bacongues, Co-Advisor, Professor Leila S. Africa. Glenda Tonkua Orlanes, Advisor, Professor Rowena D.T. Bacongues. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Entomology, Gerald Medina Duza, Advisor, Professor Barbara L. Kawili. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Environmental Science, Enrico Llamas Replan. Advisor, Professor Leonardo M. Flores. Co-advisor, Associate Professor Marisa J. Sobremisana. Julien Baryuan Elka. Advisor, Professor Rico C. Angkol. Evangeline Buela Mandia. Advisor, Professor Rico C. Angkol. Mildred Ocampo Girindola. Advisor, Associate Professor Marisa J. Sobremisana. Anelita Manlangit Obrar. Advisor, Professor Ayolani V. Delara. Maria Carisma Tamayo Malenab. Advisor, Professor Maria Victoria O. Espaldon. Jason Ben Romano Paragama, UP Professional School for Agriculture and the Environment. Advisor, Professor Maria Victoria O. Espaldon. Boyet Celino Pelone, UP Professional School for Agriculture and the Environment. Advisor, Professor Patricia Ann J. Sanchez. Wella Tiu Tatil. Advisor, Associate Professor Hildy Maria E. Nacorda. Lea Jim Ayapana Villanueva. Advisor, Professor Maria Victoria O. Espaldon. Dennis T. Yamuta. Advisor, Professor Veronica P. Migo. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Food Science, Jessa Binoya Gisulga. Advisor, Professor Catherine Ann C. Israel. Lotis Joy Catane Pesisano. Advisor, Professor Catherine Ann C. Israel. Paquito Enclonar Relox Jr. Advisor, Professor Catherine Ann C. Israel. Rachel Santiano Rodulfo, recipient of the Academic Achievement Award. Advisor, Professor Catherine Ann C. Israel. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Forestry, Forest Biological Sciences, Lorena Pioquinto Laguardia. Advisor, Professor Ireneo L. Litt Jr. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Forestry, Forest Resources Management, Maricon Reyes Perez. Advisor, Professor Nathaniel C. Bantayan. Co-advisor, Professor Emeritus Rex Victor O. Cruz. Carmelito Calatero Valdez, Advisor, Professor Wilfredo N. Carandang, Co-Advisor, Professor Emeritus Rex Victor O. Cruz. Roy Joven Rint Amatus, Advisor, Professor Margaret M. Calderon. Natalino de Araujo, Advisor, Professor Diomedes A. Racelis. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Genetics, Ye Win Aon, Advisor, Professor Emeritus Merlin S. Mendioro. Mona Lisa Molina Kayanan, Advisor, Professor Emeritus Merlin S. Mendioro. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Horticulture, Flora Mia Yulores Duatin, Advisor, Professor Calixto M. Protasio. Maylene Constantino Nieves, Advisor, Professor Calixto M. Protasio. Gloria Estaura Bancale, Advisor, Professor Constancio C. de Guzman. J. Rome Salvador Butay, Advisor, Professor Pablito M. Magdalita. Melchor Collado Madrid, Advisor, Professor Eureka Teresa M. Ocampo. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Human Nutrition, Ethel May Faigao Onyas, Advisor, Associate Professor Angelina D.R. Felix, Co-Advisor, Professor Lizelle M. Atienza. Maria Rosa Agatha Hunsay Ermino, Advisor, Professor Lizelle M. Atienza, Co-Advisor, Professor Maria Amelita C. Estacio. Washington Kesley, Advisor, Professor Leila S. Africa, Co-Advisor, Professor Emeritus Corazon V.C. Barba. Maria Julia Golyoso Gubat, Advisor, Associate Professor Angelina D.R. Felix, Co-Advisor, Associate Professor Nancy A. Tandang. Rodessa Tapawan Naupal Forcadilla, Advisor, Professor Emeritus Corazon V.C. Barba, Co-Advisor, Professor Howard Bowie. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Microbiology, Vieng Villaifone Botula, Advisor, Professor Emeritus Ida F. Dalmasio. Zeus Seligbon Elumba, Advisor, Professor Rina B. Opolencia. Amiel Castillo Lat, Advisor, Professor Emeritus Ida F. Dalmasio. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Molecular Biology and Biotechnology, Eileen Bayot Custodio. Advisor, Professor Emeritus Evelyn May Texon Mendoza. Co-advisor, Professor Edwin P. Alcantara. Juliesa May Salmoy Toledo. Advisor, Professor Juan Carlos T. Gonzalez. Co-advisor, Professor Renato S. A. Vega. Medino Gedeon Nochefranca Yebron Jr. Advisor, Professor Antonio C. Laurena. Trestina Martin de la Cruz. Advisor, Professor Vacial Gay V. Palier. Charmaine Ardales Malonzo. Advisor, Professor Nasita B. Lantican. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Plant Breeding, M.D. Adil. Advisor, Professor Emeritus Jose E. Hernandez. Co-advisor, Professor B.P. Malikarjuna Swami. Roberto Buendia Barba Jr. Advisor, Professor Antonio G. Lalusi. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Soil Science, Dina Marie Cabiles Dayan. Advisor, Professor Pearl B. Sanchez. Co-advisor, Professor Pauline Shiving. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy by Research in Agronomy, Nyet Rabi. Advisor, Professor Edna A. Aguilar. Co-advisor, Professor Emeritus Pompe C. Santa Cruz. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy by Research in Botany, Pastor Llanto Malabrigo Jr. Advisor, Professor Inocencio E. Buot Jr. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy by Research in Plant Breeding, Alvin Dalumpines Palano. Advisor, Professor Emeritus Jose E. Hernandez. Co-advisor, Professor B.P. Malikarjuna Swami. For the degree of Dual Doctor of Philosophy by Research in Economics with the University of Reading in the United Kingdom, Emmanuel Genesis Tomagan Andal. Advisor, Professor Asa Jose U. Sahiser. Co-advisor, Professor Nicholas O. Bardsley. For the degree of Straight Doctor of Philosophy in Agronomy, Royet Cacho Santos. Advisor, Professor Emeritus Pompe C. Santa Cruz. Co-advisor, Professor Virender Kumar.
While I am explaining the significance of the GS Medallion, may I ask the graduating class to prepare the GS Medallion for a synchronous spinning ceremony later. The GS Medallion symbolizes two things. First, you are the golden batch of the UPLB Graduate School. UPLB GS is celebrating its 50th anniversary. This medallion showcases the achievements of the UPLB GS, which includes you, our graduates. The history of the UPLB Graduate School will be incomplete without you. Second, the GS medallion can be worn with your UP sablay. Tomorrow, during the commencement exercises, you can wear it. This distinguishes you from the undergraduate students. The GS Medallion is a distinguishing symbol, showcasing your achievement, elevating your knowledge, skills, and values, and taking the challenge towards excellence. Like the UP Oblation, who symbolizes public service, a selfless offering of oneself to the country. The GS Medallion, with the UP oblation embedded in the GS logo, is a reminder that we offer ourselves with our gained knowledge, skills, and values during our graduate studies to our country and for the world. Now, may I invite everyone, the class of 2023, to rise. Let us now pin our GS medallion in the academic gown near our left chest, near our heart. Class of 2023, Padayon.
To deliver a response on behalf of the graduating class, let me introduce to you our student speaker. He is a Master of Science in Microbiology, minor in Molecular Biology and Biotechnology. He is also a DOST scholar and is a Graduate School Student Council volunteer. He actively participates in many community organizations such as Gawad Laguna and Boy Scouts of the Philippines, to name a few, developing safe and educated communities. Everyone, let us all warmly welcome our 17th Hooding and Recognition Ceremony student speaker, Mr. Amiel Arguil.
To our guest honor, Dr. Michael Purugganan, to the Chancellor of University of the Philippines, Los Baños, Dr. Josevi Camacho Jr., to the Vice Chancellors, Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Jean O. Loyola, Vice Chancellor for Administration, Rolando T. Bello, Vice Chancellor for Community Affairs, Roberto P. Sereno, Vice Chancellor for Research and Extension, Nathaniel C. Bantayan, Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, Dr. Janet H. Malata Silva. To all the deans, especially the Dean of Graduate School, Dr. Jomar F. Ravahante. To all the guests, lecturers, researchers, faculty and staffs. To all the parents, and most especially, my fellow graduating students. A victorious greetings of safety and peace to everyone. It is my pleasure and honor to stand here to represent our hardships and battle that have now become our shield and armor for our future endeavors. I stand here not only for myself, but for all the students with me here today who faced silent cries, agonies, and sleepless nights during the previous year of an unexpected extra challenge in our academic career, the pandemic. I would like to start this speech with the story of a professor named Felicidad. Felicidad is a retired linguistic professor in University of the Philippines Rural High School. Life for her is quite mysterious and challenging. She was married to a man named Felicissimo in 1974. And Felicissimo is the longest-serving governor in the Philippines, which served the Laguna province for 33 straight years. Unfortunately, the couple did not bear any child, and Felicissimo died in 1992. When Felicissimo died, his wife Felicidad did not doubt to continue his goals and aspirations for the province of Laguna. Felicidad believed in the power of enhancing the youth as she established the Gawad Laguna Incorporated or Gawad Felicissimo T. San Luis para sa namumukod-tanging kabataan ng Laguna, or most commonly known as the Outstanding Youth of Laguna, in 1993. Her passion to empower people became a growing platform to establish hope and confidence to all the youth of Laguna. Currently, the organization established by Felicidad in the memory of her husband, continuously name a few lines of future hope. The organization, Felicidad established, honored 800 youth. Yes, more than 800 youth she considered as her children. Among all the 800 honored youth in the organization from 1993 to 2023 are those that are notable in education, politics, medicine, and allied health. Others are still starting to build their dreams. Fortunately, one of those 800 honored youth who are still in the process of searching for his true purpose is standing in front of everyone. It was me. I remember during the time I was listening to a speech from Felicidad, fondly called as Mami Feli, she pointed out three important phrases. First, patawad, sorry. Second, salamat, thank you. And third, mahal kita, I love you. And I want to share it to you this day. These important phrases became a reliable source for me to continue the challenge of graduate studies. In the first week of my graduate studies in 2019, I lost my dad. Even in these times of grieving, I still go to all my lectures and laboratory since we are only allowed to have at least 3 to 6 absences in the whole term. I go to and from my hometown in Nagcarlan, Laguna, and here in University of the Philippines, Los Baños every day to attend these responsibilities. Attending classes in the morning and assisting visitors during the wake of my father at night. I lost hope to continue the graduate studies after my dad died. Patawad, sorry. I once lost all my hope and aspiration to continue this degree. I was pressured to face the challenges without my dad watching me succeed in life. We all have our hesitations and questions if doing graduate studies will intellectually improve us, especially when someone important leaves us in our journey. Almost the same year, the pandemic came. All the adjustment in both academic and life activities were arrested. Some of us do not know how to use the Zoom, and even we're not looking at emails for submission deadlines. Just like me, I always beat the deadlines, beat the reviews, and even beat entering Zoom classes. The first year, facing this kind of learning is very new to us. And we see our classmates who cannot enter properly and seemingly cannot understand most of the lessons. I know we faced a new series of challenges. Patawad. Because sometimes we only realize the surface of what we do. We do not anticipate the responsibility we must hold to deeply understand this journey, the honor and excellence. Madalas tayong sumusuko dahil may pagkakataong mababa ang pangunawa natin sa realidad, gampanin at layunin para sa ating sarili at para sa iba. All the struggles we face during the past years are valid. I know we all face this kind of situation. At some point, we realize that some of our thinkings and ideas are only at the surface of what we should work on. I would like everyone to look at themselves and silently say the same thing. Patawad. Let's all improve and let our body, mind, and heart heal with forgiveness to others and to ourselves. After that, we see the light to thank the people and event around us. The second phrase we must live in the word is the word salamat. Thank you. Salamat, University of the Philippines, Los Baños. More than all the challenges we face in this academic career, the university showed us something we should be thankful for. Its people. Today, give me this opportunity to thank the people who helped me in this journey. The graduate student council volunteers that is right here today with us. Krista, Win, Lady, Jelly, Ruth, Gwen, Janan, Fatima, Amelie, Micah, Mami Joanna, Kuya RR, Janelle, Ate Sha, Doc Hayes, Ate Yula, and all the staffs of the Food Laboratory 1 and 2 and Molecular Genetics Laboratory of UPLB Biotech. To my guidance committee, Dr. Anna, Dr. Rodney, Dr. Sabino, and Dr. Mina. To my family, Nanay Alice that's also right here today with me, Juno, Ailet, Atali, Alali, and Yoradil. I learned that the university gives us challenges to bridge our networks and seek help from other people to grow and understand things. I remember the moments when I gathered data for my thesis. I had a lot of failures during those times. I made mistakes in doing some of our protocols in the experiment, but the people in the laboratory showed me how to be thankful in our shortcomings. Dr. Rodney H. Perez, my co-advisor, and Dr. Nasita Bilantican, my advisor that's also right here today, shows me how the word sorry can be improved with the word thanks. The word salamat improves my perspective in life. Instead of saying sorry for my mistakes, I use thank you for guiding me. And it feels totally redeeming. Knowing how to properly embody the word salamat gives us more opportunity in life. The act of giving thanks not only improves our appreciation in things, but also improves our morale. It gives us chances for changes. It gives us the capacity to learn. Most importantly, giving thanks flatters us to love. The third praise, mahal kita, is the most powerful thing we should embody. The late Dr. Alonzo A. Gabriel, one of my mentors in this journey, asked me a question. Why do you like to enter graduate studies? I responded, Doc, gusto ko pong maging katulad ninyo. I want to become like you. He happily explained that the journey of choices and decisions should be based on ourselves. Yes, we want to idolize people, but we must first love ourselves. I realize why loving oneself is an important thing to do. Why are we in this shooting ceremony in the first place? It is because we love the things we do. Because prior to entering graduate studies, we first loved the idea of doing great things for ourselves. The place of the word mahal kita in our life is very unconditional. It shows us happiness in every hardships. It places contentment in every worried heart. If I am to conclude what this phrase, mahal kita, changed me, it is the realization that we must first love ourselves. When we go out in this university, we carry the love we experienced. We cannot serve the people and the country unless we first love ourselves. Today, as we face new challenge at the end of our academic career, be great. In Filipino, two important words are inclined with the word great. One, mahalaga, and two, dakila. I hope we do both things. Great self, dakilang sarili, and great things, mahalagang mga bagay. In doing great things in the future, I want everyone to carry also the three important words. Salamat, patawad, at mahal kita. Just like felicidad, life will never show us what is our purpose unless we seek it, unless we recognize how our capability will immensely change our country for betterment. I will share you some secrets. When I am down, I look at the greatest people who managed to succeed and overcome the same fate. As example, I attended as a graduate student council volunteer last year to assist the hooding program and supply program. I was inspired that they are shouting in gratitude that they already succeed in their academic journey. Today, it is our time. It is our victory. I hope those students listening today who are still in their academic journey will be inspired by our applaud and victory. Again, use those three phrases that I share. To everyone, nawa ay bitbitin natin ang sulo ng pagbabago. We have our stories to share, great things to start, and I hope we find our purpose through giving forgiveness, thanks, and love. Remember, ang pusong nagpapatawad ay nagpapasalamat. Ang pusong nagpapasalamat ay nagmamahal. At ang pusong nagmamahal ay naglilingkod sa Diyos at sa bayan. Pro Deo et Patria, maraming salamat po.
Once again, congratulations, graduates of 2023.